Hello, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and share this really quick while everyone is hopping on. Tell all the Facebook people to get over here. And it's hard to type like with one finger up in the air like this. Like it's a little weird. Okay. Hello. All right. Turn. Good. It is shared. All right. So today we are talking with Roxie. Let's get her on. Let's hope. Hey, Kate. Let's hope the Instagram gods cooperate with us. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for coming on with me today.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, we're so excited. This is like, we are getting so close. I'm like trying to like get everybody scheduled in and I'm like, I'm running out of days.
It's right around the corner. It's
so
unbelievable how quick it's gotten here.
It's so true. I know. So I just wanted to welcome everybody for coming and saying hello if you're here. And today we're talking to Roxie Zwicker of New England Curiosities. So you are going to be presenting, right?
Yes.
And what will you tell us a little bit about what you'll be talking about?
So I'll be presenting on the elemental alchemy of tarot and oracle. I wanted to make sure that I included both. Right. So in my own personal practice, really understanding the elemental energies and the magic of tarot and oracle cards has really been the sweet spot for me, like getting outside of the book and putting it into ritual workings and also really digging deeper into sort of the homework levels of tarot. So even if you're not, super versed in everything that you need to know in tarot, there are some basic elemental pieces of tarot that we can all connect with, that we can use for our own healing, our own powers of manifestation in a way, in a language that really speaks to you personally. And I think that's, trying to make it more accessible and more creative is going to be some of the foundations of this session.
Oh, I love that. And it's also kind of taking everybody out of that box of just learning tarot. This is how you're supposed to do it. So I love that because, I always think that, knowing the base meanings of everything is good. But then when your intuition hits, it just makes it so much deeper. So like you're basically just sparking everyone's intuition.
Well, and that's the beauty of any form of divination. It's really the way that I teach it, and the way that I practice is, it's half the tool and it's half you. Right. And you can, read any book or, any of the details that come with whatever deck you're working with, but does it really tell you how to make the most of your own skills? And I think that's, that's where you really grow as a reader. That's where you're able to get the most out of your readings. It sort of breaks through that wall of frustration of having to learn every single card or to know a specific layout.
Yeah. And I think by doing that too, it even just helps you remember it better because you're adding your own flavor and your own experiences to it. So I love that.
Yeah. And we all connect with different elements, and I sort of go off of that based on, so I'm a Leo, so I'm like, super high energy. There's always a lot going on in my head, but I need that water element, to really keep myself balanced, keep myself focused. So when I'm specifically doing readings, like I know what cues to look for in, in the cups, in the water, and to really bring the most out with those, with those little bits of information.
Right. No, I hear you. I'm like all fire and air in my chart. So I like the water. I need that water. And I honestly take an Epsom salt bath like every night because I feel like I need that to like settle down all the fires in my brain. Like they're all over the place. And so how long have you been reading tarot?
Oh God. So back when dinosaurs roamed the earth. So back in the 70s, when I grew up, my mom had lots of very interesting decks at a
Ooh,
time when decks were not that accessible. Like you had to
yeah.
mail order the back of some weird catalog and get them
Right.
in.
And it's like 7 months later, it shows up.
Oh yeah, like in a brown paper package with, you
Yeah.
know, no information on it. So I've been around it a very long time. I started reading for myself as a teenager. I started reading professionally about 25 years ago, and I've been
Mhm.
teaching for about 15 years. And I think it's so important to find good teachers, and that's what's so great about the Witch City Tarot Gathering is that we're going to have so many great teachers. Because I remember a time when there really were no teachers and there were so
No,
few books.
like
So,
before
you
the
know,
internet.
it's unbelievable to have all of this now in the open.
Right, right. And I think too, it can definitely be overwhelming for some people when they're really new. And I think that's also what's great about all of us gathering together is we all kind of have our own flavor. And I love, I've been reading tarot for 20 something years and I still love going to everybody else's classes. I learn something every single time because everybody has different techniques. They come at it from a different perspective, and I just love listening to it. So it just makes it so cool. And we know that like this group that we have for Witch City, we all have that same thread that's very similar, but we're all very different. We come from very different backgrounds, and it's going to be so exciting. I'm so excited for it, and it's in person. I mean, we can't beat that.
Oh, I can't wait. That's going to be the best part is just to be able to see people outside of this square box that
Yes.
we've been in for so long.
I know it's going to be like it's going to be so exciting, and I'm just like I want pictures with everybody. I want hugs from everybody, and it's happening. We are making it happen. And then we have on Saturday we have the Witches Night Market, which is it's going to be busy. We have such a crazy response to it, so I'm excited for that. And just to see all the different vendors we have. Some of our vendors are speaking too, so it's like we have a little bit of everything going on. And and that's one of the reasons why we wanted to kind of bring everybody on here too, just so that we get to know you guys, we can see your face, and if we have questions afterwards, we know where to find you and all of that good stuff. So do you have any advice for anybody coming to your reading? Do you want them to bring a deck with them? Do you just want to bring a notebook? Like, how could they get the most out of your presentation?
I think probably, obviously having a notebook is great. So that way you can take down some of the tips and techniques. Having a deck with you to play with, I always think is awesome because you might get a little inspiration just by sitting there and shuffling, and something might just pop out at you and you're like, you know what, I want to try that technique, and it gives you an opportunity to not only learn but to participate. And I'm when it comes to a student, and I'm such a humble student of tarot and oracle cards myself, I love to sit there and play along because you're also in that collective energy with the instructor and the other people that are there as well. So, that's just a nice place to sit in on its own. So why not have your cards handy?
Right. And I always have cards because I'm always constantly shuffling cards. Like I'm shuffling cards. I don't even know that I'm doing it. Like it's just happening. And I'm like, oh yeah, look at that. It's soothing, right? I know I can't be the only one that does that.
It's totally soothing. And there's so many different ways you can shuffle the cards too. It's pretty awesome.
No, it is definitely. And I love that, just encouraging people to just kind of bring those cards, if something sparks you, then pull a card for it, write it down. And then also too, what's really great is we have the plancha parlor going on. So you could always go downstairs in the library. If after, Roxie's presentation, you're like, all right, I need to sit down and I need to do all these things right now. You could always go down there afterwards, and, we're all milling around. So if you have a question, definitely feel free to come up to any of us. If you get stuck on something or you have a question for Roxie, you definitely can find her and ask her. And, we're here to help, and we're here to really you know, and we're very hands-on, right? I think it's safe to say we're a very hands-on group of people.
For sure.
You know, and that's even, you know, I think with all the presentations, I think, you know, just really being interactive. Like, we don't want to just sit here and just drone on to you guys about these things. We want you to ask questions. We want you to participate. Pull a card and say, I put this card, but I'm not really sure where it fits. Can you help me? Because you know what? Most times there's somebody else in that group with you that probably has the same question, right?
Absolutely. And it's great because as we're doing all of this together, you know, we're building, like I was saying, on that energy, and you have no idea how electric a space like that can be with everybody just tapping into their intuition. And it's just going to make such a great experience for everybody to see what it's like when you're sitting next to somebody and you're like, you know, I get that card all the time. What do you make of it? Type of thing.
Yes, yes. And I love that because, you know, and we're really big, I think, you know, all of us, I'm just going to kind of speak for all of us here, that there's no right and wrong, right? Like, it's all depends on what resonates with you, what works for you. And really, that's it. We're going to teach you guys all the things. You take what resonates and you leave the rest. And you know what? You're going to walk away with a tremendous amount of energy and insight no matter what, right, Roxie?
Oh my gosh, absolutely. I think if you just go with an open expectation that you're going to meet a lot of great people, you're going to be sitting with all sorts of varied knowledge and varied approaches to tarot and oracle cards and divination, and just be open to trying something different. I think that's probably the first thing that I would say to anybody that's coming to this. Like, be willing to get in there and do something you have not tried before. Like, ask crazy questions, and you'd be surprised what a wealth of knowledge everybody will bring to this.
Right. And there's no such thing as a dumb question, because I know, you know, just years of teaching, you know, there's always that one person like, I didn't want to ask, I thought it was a dumb question. And it's like, no, there's not that doesn't even exist in our world, right? Because it always leads somewhere. And that's the important part, you know, and I love that. And, you know, it's just going to be so much fun. So much fun. I'm so excited. So could you tell us where we can find you on all the online spaces?
Sure. So right here on Instagram, I'm at Roxie ZW. I am also on Facebook at New England Curiosities. You can find my divination page at the Divinity Lounge, which is the page for the actual space I'm in Portsmouth. And I do all sorts of really cool and unusual workshops and online sessions. So you can feel free to check any of those out.
I love that. Awesome. All right. Well, see, that was a fast and furious 15 minutes, right? It goes by so fast. But I really, really appreciate you coming on. I'm so excited to meet you in person. And we're going to have so much fun. It's going to be great. So everybody, thank you so much for coming on and hanging out with us. And make sure to visit Roxie, go give her a like, and check out all the awesome things that she's doing. And we'll see you at Witch City.
See you at Witch City.
Bye.
Bye.